welcome back, Georgina. At this time of the year, as we remember those in service who gave, we are very, very excited and pleased and humbled to have veteran dispatch rider Ernie Mackey, the Royal Canadian Signal Corps. Did I get that all right, sir? Yeah. Welcome to the show, and as we said off camera, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
It's always an honor to have a veteran with us. I mean, any day, but especially now where it's foremost on people's minds. And there's so many stories that veterans have. And those are the stories that I think are so important to share. And again, thank you for your service. But honestly, how did this all happen? How old were you when you did what you did?
I was 17 when I signed up. And I was signed up at 6 Personnel Depot in Toronto, which is down behind Sunnybrook Hospital, more in the valley.
Oh gosh, yes.
And that's where you could tell by the start of my regimental number being an SB, Sierra Bravo, that meant Toronto.
Okay.
And the letters could tell you where people were from basically in the country. And
Good to know.
sometimes a city, sometimes just a province, depending on the population. But at 17, I signed up and was sent to Vimy Barracks in Kingston to the School of Signals and did my basic training there. And then I went to Petawawa, the Armed Forces Base, Petawawa.
Right.
Sent back to the School of Signals for my dispatch rider course because I like to laugh, I say, because I made the mistake of telling a sergeant that, yeah, I can ride a motorcycle. And, oh, we got a job for you. Where you go? So I was sent right back to the place I never wanted to go back. So. But anyhow, I went back to that, and over the course of 12 or 14 weeks, I found out I really didn't know how to ride a motorcycle. They showed me how you ride a motorcycle. And then... the security clearances and that, because you're going to carry secret materials and stuff. So,
I just have to stop you there, sir, if I may. I cannot imagine at the age of 17 the notion that I am going to be carrying
I'd be 18
secret.
by then.
Well, because that 12 months makes a difference. But it's like, how do you wrap your mind around that, or do you even think about it?
You don't think about it at the time.
Okay.
I came home one weekend on a 48-hour pass, which was easy enough from Kingston. And my father stopped me on the veranda, and I come walking up, and I was in uniform, and he said, "Come over here. What have you done?" I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "You're in the Army. I know I don't have to worry about looking after you anymore, but what trouble are you in?" I said, "Well, what? I'm not in any trouble." He says, "Ernie, the RCMP do not come around asking questions about you."
Oh, of course.
And I went, "Oh, that's the security clearance. I believe I have to have top secret of that." "Oh," I said, "who did they ask?" And he said a friend of his down the street who was a veteran, but I knew this fellow, and I thought, oh, I'm done, because his view of our government wasn't that great. So I could just imagine when this fellow, I liked that he was a veteran, did everything, he just had his own views about the country.
As we do.
Yeah, as everybody does. And I thought, well, if he gives his views, I hope they don't put it as mine. And then after that, your last week of it, they bring out these 2 big, thick books, Canadian Army Regulations and Queen's. Because when I signed up, I swore allegiance to Her Majesty, not Canada.
Yes.
That's how my papers read.
Yes.
So anyway, they open it up and they have it marked out. Say, read that and then sign here. And I'll sign it. I'm not, big pages, big, small print. And this fellow said, "No, read it." Because in there, you're giving up your rights at times to a trial or whatever if they find any breach of this National Securities Act. So I read it, and it could scare you, if you took it serious and did something really dumb. So anyway, I signed it, and they sent me back to Petawawa, and I was attached to the 4th Royal Canadian Horse Artillery Signals Troop, because they had dispatch riders carry gun orders, which had to be classified or above it. The average in the Signal Corps, everybody had to be at least confidential
Yes.
qualified.
Okay.
There were fellas ahead of me. I found out that top secret didn't mean the top. It was,
Okay.
I know a couple of fellas that were teletype mechanics or the code breakers. They fixed the
Right.
machines and all that. Well, they could go
'Cause
places.
that's a real sensitive material.
That's higher than that security that you think is there.
Can we ask you about what's
That's-
on? We don't
okay,
want to.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay, all right.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
that's all
Fine, I
right.
say thank you for your service and then take over.
No, you should, you should. I'm known for babbling, so. Yeah, these are what I earned. The first one is for NATO service. I did 3 years in Germany, West Germany, during the Cold War.
Yes.
This is the Canadian for serving with the United Nations Emergency Forces. At the time I served in 1961-62, I was in the Gaza Strip in Egypt with the United Nations Emergency Forces Egypt.
Gosh.
That's this one I got from the United Nations.
Okay.
This one did not exist in those days.
Okay.
We got no medals from Canada. You got the United Nations for UNEF Egypt, Congo, Cyprus. All of a sudden, I guess Canada. I found out by accident that this medal was out there after I was actually retired from the fire department before I found out.
Wow.
These two are fire department service medals of 30 years service and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
But these are the ones that the government had. Like I said, these two I didn't know existed. This one had disappeared. I had to get it replaced.
Super.
And that was kind of a funny story because the young girl, corporal, had answered the phone.
Yes.
And she said, fine, yes, Mr. Mackey, no problem. You have your social insurance number. And I said, fine. And I dug it out, told her it. She says, Mr. Mackey, you were never in the military.
What?
I says, really?
Sorry, I didn't mean to
I
yell
said,
at you.
I was drunk for that long. I didn't know where I was. What are you talking about? And she kind of dead silence. And then she said, well, no, I have no record. And I said, why did you ask my social insurance number? And she said, well, because that's what I said, no, I was before that. That's what they use as an ID now.
Ah, I see.
I said, I had a regimental number, so I told her. Oh, she says, I always wondered what those numbers were with the SB on it. She had no idea. But anyway,
The
once she
mouth
ran
of
that
babes.
up, and I had to make sure she got me, not my dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, she says, oh, okay, yes, we can do your UNEF Egypt medal, fine. And would you like the other ones? And I'm going, are you sure you got me, not my dad?
Take
I said-
them all, sir.
I said, well, whatever. Is it there? And so she said those. So they sent me these. So these two were sent free. This one was mailed. The replacement medal was mailed from United Nations, New York to Ottawa. And then I had to pay postage to my house from Ottawa to get it.
Of course, we're not even going to go there.
No, we don't go there.
We're
funny.
running out of time, sir.
Sorry.
I'm just curious if your final thoughts about your journey.
For me personally, it made my whole life. It opened up a lot of doors that way. You go a lot of years, you don't realize you have problems lingering. And they can range anywhere from alcohol to drugs or whatever guys go through. And finally you get a chance to go talk to a doctor and they straighten you out.
Great.
But yeah, the overall journey has been pretty good in my life.
We want to thank
It's
you
good there.
again
Yeah.
for your service.
Thank you.
And Georgina, don't go anywhere. So much more on today's Georgina Life.